Welcome to Shorts Beyond Measure, where fashion, interiors, and psychology get the stylish, savvy, and slightly therapeutic touch.
We're Tara West, Caroline Baltz, and Allison Goldberg, a fashion stylist and 2 interior designers who are also trained as psychotherapists.
So let's get into what's trending, what's tired, and what's actually worth your time. Because good style and good decisions should never be short-lived.
Ladies, guess what?
What?
Allison wants to talk about her hedges.
Well, you talked about your boobs, so I get to talk about my hedges.
We can't wait to hear how you trim your hedges.
You guys.
I ain't got no hedges, girl.
No, but come on.
No, I was a little late because I had a busy morning because I had 210 feet of boxwood hedges delivered this morning from this amazing company. It's like Instant Hedge or something. And I've used them before, but we're having 210 feet, almost like English garden hedge. They come in a trough, like 3 feet trough, so it's already a hedge, and then it just gets planted.
Oh my God. Who trims the hedges?
I would assume the gardener, but I feel like Dave would love to trim some hedges.
Did you sculpt them in any kind of way?
Dave, tell us about your hedges.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure what we're talking about here anymore. So
Good answer.
little uncomfortable.
Plead the fifth.
How's your
Plead the fifth.
boxwood?
You had my hair on the back of my neck stand up when you started with box.
Yeah.
Well, here's the question. Does your husband trim the hedges before he brings you coffee in the morning?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's a necessity.
No, so that's amazing, though. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to look beautiful.
It's almost like instant beautiful backyard. It's going to line the whole backyard, but this company is amazing. I think I ordered them a week ago, and they just showed up, unloaded everything, and they're all getting planted on Monday. But we have a lot of hedge right now, and the men don't always appreciate the hedge.
They like it clean. But you know what? I love instant gratification.
Yeah.
It's
so
really
cute
fun.
because when your face lights up when
It
you're like,
does.
it's just you're gonna go home and it's gonna be
Yeah,
done.
it's not like we have to plant these starter plants and then it has to grow and then you have to trim the hedge. It's just there and it's perfect, and I'm really, really excited. I think it's going to make a huge difference.
Excited for you. So, Caroline, what are we talking about today? Speaking about.
Well, we had down color theory as one of the options to talk about,
But you want to talk about your hedges.
But we could talk about instantaneous gratification. That's a psychological theory. I feel like we're kind of organically getting into that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What happens, with clients when there's a delay, or what happens when, they want to see it all come together. I think a reveal is so fun, and it's emotional, all those shows and stuff, because it is, you're walking into your home and you see it all come together, but it's really tricky to actually have that come to fruition, just because people want the pieces to be coming in and they want to use the sofa and they want to and they don't want to wait.
And it takes time. And I've had this experience. We hired an interior designer a long time ago, and she painted the wall almost like a pinky peach, and you could never understand how that's going to work. And my kids kept going, "Oh my God, it's so ugly." And then you panic. I panicked.
Yep.
Oh my God, because that was the biggest room in our home, and it was such a bold color. And I kept asking our painter, "Do you like it?" Yeah. And he's like, "I don't know what she's gonna do with it," but it ended up coming together. But from somebody who doesn't know, I was petrified.
Yeah, we actually get that a lot if we're not doing a full reveal, because you see this random piece come in and you panic. You're just I don't think I like this, because they can't visualize the whole picture despite having a mood board. So we are in the process as we grow to kind of move into storing the furniture. Once everything is in, then we'll do a whole reveal, and we'll probably, hopefully, eventually make that our main practice, because then you do get that emotional, it's basically instant gratification, right? And you get that whole appreciation for how all the pieces work together.
Yeah, I like that. I like a reveal.
But how does it work? I'm trying to think of with regarding fashion, and do people, they're like, okay, I need my whole suitcase packed for my trip to Europe and I need it tomorrow, and you get that sort of demands?
Yeah, I mean, it can be that. It's for instance, today I have an older woman who the family hired me to help her get dressed help find an outfit for a wedding. and we have half of the outfit. It's just the other pieces need to come together. And the daughter is very frantic, calling me, texting me, when is it going to come together? It's all going to be good. Like, I know this. And then you can't take on their stress. And then they'll see when it all comes together. But I think it's when it's not all complete, that's when people get nervous. And for, packing for trips, usually I come in and we put outfits together, and then they're quite surprised that you can fit that much in a suitcase and have it be a carry-on, but also that you can form so many outfits from like a few things.
Right, the interchanging of things. Yeah, that's key for travel, right?
It's key for travel, and I think there's so many opportunities now with, there's a lot of cute sets, and you can break sets up. You can wear the bottoms with a different top and the top with a different bottom. You can wear your cover up as a dress. There are so many options and ways to minimize how much you pack now.
But I see that in you too. Like, I remember when we did a filming at my house a while ago, and you were wearing this really cool dress, but you were like, you know what? I don't like the way this ties. And you took the tie and you like made it so that it only was in
around,
yes,
right?
Yeah. And I was like, I feel like when you have the confidence and to do what you do, you can take risks and you can like kind of think about things so differently.
Absolutely. I think probably like you guys too and even as a therapist, you cannot take on other people's stress. And it's super easy to do that because like we were talking about before is I'm not okay until it's all complete, right?
Right.
But I also, that's my stress. But then I cannot take on, for instance, this daughter's stress right now because if I took on all of that, then I would be losing my mind over an outfit.
Right. It's almost like when you're in therapy and you have to validate and make the person feel heard. Like, you can have these feelings, but your feelings aren't my feelings.
Exactly. And sometimes we can get caught up, especially when it's your own business, because it's so important. But I know an outfit's so important, but I mean, how important is an outfit in the end?
Yeah, right. To keep perspective. But I find that in the work that we do too, like knowing when to push somebody. And, this was before we started working together, but I helped a friend with her basement. And I was like, she did this sort of kitchenette area or whatever, and she wasn't going to tile it. It was sort of trying to scale back on budget and whatever. And I was like, just do this wallpaper. It was like these little gold kind of scallopy kind of look or whatever. And she was like, no, I don't know if my husband's going to like it. And I'm like, you wanted me. So I'm going to tell you where I'm going to push. You wanted to have a perspective, and I'm going to push you on this one. I don't always push, but I'm going to push you on this one. I have the confidence to do that, and it's her favorite thing. And it's her husband's favorite thing, too.
Oh, that's
amazing. I love that.
I love that. So this is a good question, since we're kind of talking about therapy and also fashion and design. When you work with people, is it usually the wife? It could be both, but then is there resistance? Because how do you do that? Like, because that made me think what you just said is her husband wouldn't like it. So how do you play with that? What do you do?
It's a complicated dynamic, and we like to, as Caroline mentioned, we always ask the hard questions in the beginning. So we like to ask what everyone's role is going to be from the very beginning. Does your husband want to be involved in the decision-making process? If so, he needs to be at each meeting. Is he just going to say yes or no to the prices? So then he doesn't have to be at each meeting, but we have to figure that out from the beginning. I'd say it's always the best client when they're divorced and there's no husband.
I actually have a few clients who will say, I don't know if my husband will like this, or my husband likes when I wear this or that. I don't even hear that. I'm like, let's put this on you. And if it looks good, you should get it. And there's been a couple times when they're like, I'm going on a business trip. I'm like, wear that dress. We just got you look so good. Because otherwise, maybe their husband doesn't like the color. I mean, I don't care. This is you, without saying that, because it's not my place to say that.
Right. And if we're doing, her home office or like, a space that only she uses. For example, like we're doing a house right now, and the mom has a husband, 2 young boys, and she has said that this living room is my space, and we lacquered it in pink, a very blush pink, and there's this gorgeous kind of floral woven wallpaper on the ceiling, and it's not about what her husband likes because it's her space, so we can do that with her.
I like that.
Yeah.
And talking about instant gratification, every time she walks in there, she's going to think, this is my room.
Yeah.
I chose this, and it probably feels very much for her.
Mm-hmm.
which I think is cool.
No, it is cool. And to be, I'm the only woman in my house. I've got 2 boys and a husband, and it's just to have some feminine space, I think it creates that balance. And while maybe for her it didn't feel instant, it surely, I think, feels gratifying to like read her book and put her feet up and just be like, this is mine.
But something about like when you put on an outfit you like and you look good, that's instant gratification. So maybe it's like every time she walks into that room now, she does feel that gratification. And I think that that's where our businesses align, because really in the end, we're making people feel good. My people are going to feel good about themselves, so it builds confidence. You guys are creating a space where they daily will feel good, you know?
Yeah, and your environment matters. When things are in disarray, when things are a mess, when things are dirty, you're just like, you don't feel good. And so I think putting that effort into your outfit or your room or just a space that, even if there's chaos going on and life happens, right? Like, I'm not judging somebody for their house not being perfect, but like having a space that maybe the kids don't go into that often so that it does stay more pristine, and you can kind of, it's decluttering of your brain to look at a space that's not chaotic.
I think that we went through this phase of getting rid of the formal living room and the formal dining room, and so we kind of lost those pristine spaces, and maybe there's going to be a change in those coming back. I remember growing up, I was never, ever allowed to go into our formal living room, especially with like a friend. I could go practice the piano, but other than that, like, that was not a place to play or hang out or even read a book. Like, that was off limits to kids.
I remember that too. And I remember friends' houses like that too, where what room you could not go into, and you'd walk by and be like, wow, that's really pretty.
Yeah.
I want to destroy that fucking couch.
Yeah. And then in high school, when your parents go away and you throw that house party, that living room was the best.
The living room was the best.
Don't go in that living room.
Oh no, we were on the roof. Are you kidding?
But Allison, you're reminding me of another project that we're working on right now. It's almost completed. 61 Westbourne Road, Newton, people, coming on the market soon. This amazing house. We worked with this amazing builder. He really listened to us. And what we tried to do in the spaces is we dialed back from who do we think are the potential buyers. It's either going to be empty nesters that have a lot of kids that come back and this is where they, have holidays together, or it's going to be a family that's growing, because there's a lot of bedrooms. There's a lot of different options. It's a fairly substantial house. And what we tried to do is make flex spaces. So like when you walk into the right, there's a fireplace and a coffered ceiling and this gorgeous marble, and it's really stunning. But it could be an office. It could be a playroom where you keep the toys for kids like out of the main mix.
If anyone uses that as a playroom, I'll kill them. That is probably...
It sounds too gorgeous.
It's so beautiful. I mean, it could be used as that, but it's probably one of my favorite rooms we've ever designed together. But yeah, it could be a dining room. It could be a sitting room. It could hopefully not be a playroom. But the idea was that you can use the space how you need.
Right. However you vision using it is what you can use it for.
Right. And I feel like it could flex with a family. Maybe they do, God forbid, use it as a playroom. But maybe then when the kids don't have all those crazy toys and exercisers and all that junk, like, okay, then right?
It becomes a more serious room or something more, adult.
Their kid starts playing piano. Now it's the music room, or, as you're saying. Like, I think the other thing we did in that house, which I think is kind of neat, is off of the master, we have this space, this kind of nook that could be a I feel pretty room, like where you get ready, or it could be an extra closet if somebody has a lot of clothes, because we have very substantial closets, but you never know. Or what we were hoping that maybe it would be is like a cozy nook place where like a couple can
Sex
actually
dungeon. Oh, oops. Are we recording? Sorry, guys.
Oh my God.
Well, so it sounds like
so
whatever
bad.
they want.
Yes.
Whatever they vision.
Yeah, like maybe it's 2 chaise lounges next to each other, and that's where they sit and have coffee together in the morning or on a Saturday or something. Like we just want to have intimate spaces and then bigger spaces and entertaining spaces and flexibility among them.
I need one of those spaces.
The red room of pain?
Yes. Exactly what I was
Come on
thinking.
over.
After my boob job. All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
And check out the boxwoods at Westbourne.
Thank you.
That's it for this week's shortlist. Thanks for listening.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, share it, leave a review, or let us know what's on your shortlist.
shorts beyond measure, because the most important things in life can't be quantified.